What's up, race fans, and welcome to another episode of the Pecino Report. This is the vodcast that gets past the hype to give you, the viewer or listener, the lowdown on what's really going on in the MotoGP paddock. Well, here we are, season 2021. This is episode 15. It is, where are we? We're in June. We've just had the Sachsenring German round, and oh, wow, what a race. This guy here, if everybody thought that's it, he was done, I don't think so, Tim. He's had an absolute blinder. The king of the ring, as always. It was absolutely crazy. So let's just quickly, before we get started, throw over to my incredible co-host. I don't think you've ever seen Marc Marquez on form, have you, Andra?
I haven't, but I must say I giggled the most every time they kept saying King of the Ring.
Yeah.
I was like, do you know what? I had really mixed emotions because I thought he was done it. And I know that Manuel said last week that he was going to win, and I was so close to putting money on it. So thank the stars that I didn't. As the race was happening, I was like, no, I don't want him to do this. But then at the end, I was like, yes, come on. It was really, really bizarre mixed emotions.
That's right, it was, wasn't it? Indeed. And Manuel, how are you doing, mate? You didn't go to Germany this last week. I remember you told us, but you did watch it from the comfort of your house, of your house and your couch. What was it like for you?
Well, first I have to say that you pushed me out of bed this morning.
Ah.
So you are really racing junkies, you know,
Yes.
because this is unhuman what you did to me today. But here I am to talk about racing.
Sorry, not sorry.
We're not sorry. That's right. Manuel just got out of bed. I just got off a plane.
Yeah, and I'm just on holiday because I'm bored. So I've been hassling everybody to do this.
Yes.
So Edna, let me say again the place where you are, Adelaide, no?
Adelaide. Yep.
Yes.
Adelaide. Yes.
Just about got it right this time.
I still don't know why Jack Miller laughed at that, but I like it.
He thought it was hilarious indeed.
That's right. I'm still getting confused. Yeah.
Well, I have to say that yesterday I finished all my writing pretty late because there was a lot going on in Sachsenring, not only the super victory of, look, I have heard about Marquez ring, okay?
Ooh, yeah.
I have heard about Saxon King.
Oh, I heard that one, the Saxon King, yes.
Yeah. So there are so many names related to what he did that was fantastic, but we have to say that for us, it wasn't a surprise.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
that's right. For all the listeners and all the viewers out there, if you took Manuel's hot tip last week, he called it right here that Marquez was going to win, then you would be a very happy camper this week. I know that I did. I put him in my fantasy team and gave him a double points boost.
Oh, I used all mine up, but I think I messaged you, Stu, and I was like, I feel so dirty. I just put Marc Marquez in my fantasy team.
Yep. And I went, yeah, me too. Yeah. But then as you say, Andra, we were watching it going, this is crazy. I almost still don't want him to win, even though he's in my fantasy team. It was nuts indeed. So Manuel, let's get straight into the MotoGP. There's lots to talk about in Moto3 and Moto2 as well, but we absolutely have to talk about MotoGP first, don't we?
Yeah, I think we should start with the big start of the weekend with Super Marc Marquez. He did one of these epic episode, you know, the sportsman.
Yep.
Like coming from the hole, you know, and basically to explain what happened, I think we explained it in our last episode, but I will repeat it. You know, it was the key point for this, what happened and what we saw in Sachsenring was the test in Barcelona after the Grand Prix, that Monday test.
Yeah,
you know, that test that where Marc Marquez almost completed 90 laps. I think there were 87 laps. And there, the team, no, not there. After, with all the data the team gathered there, they worked 24/7 for 2 weeks. And they got it, you know, they got it. And then we saw that the bike in Marc's hand, because with the other riders it didn't work. In Marc's hand it was terrific. And also Marc said that these tests helped him to understand the new rear tire, which he had used only in that race in Jerez where he crashed, remember? Because in 2020 there was introduced a new rear tire, which Marc didn't know.
Oh, yeah,
That's
of
right.
course.
He's not familiar with that at all, is he?
So, and he started to understand that tire during that test in Momelo. So this is basically the technical key point. And then the other key point, obviously, is the determination, the mental strength, the race strategy that was fantastic. Only Marc could do something like this. You know, the
It's
race
classic
strategy.
Marquez.
Yeah, look, because before the race, it was very clear that Marc's chances were depended on the start.
Yes.
You know, on a circuit that was in which is so difficult to overtake, with his physical condition, for him would be even more difficult. But he knew this. He started from the 5th position of the grid and arrived at the first corner second.
Yeah.
When they crossed the finish line for the first time, he was already first.
Yep.
So then, look, then the race depended only on him, not on the others anymore.
And it was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting to see how, I think about 5 or 8 laps in or something, we were having a look at the lap times, and the lap times are actually half a second slower than what they'd predicted the race lap times would be. And so Marc, he obviously he got out the front, and he just managed the pace. Again, like I say, classic Marquez, just managed it beautifully.
After the race, he said something interesting. He said, look, in this circuit, rear tire management is a must. But with our bike, and we are the only ones, we also have to take care of the front.
Yeah.
So then he said, that's why I was riding at that pace. But then somebody opened the sky and said ahead.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's like...
There was 21, so it was crazy.
Can you guys tell me in that what I was watching? Because I was getting so excited for another flag to flag race. I was like, come on, rain. And obviously I know that's great conditions for him. Did people, I noticed that they started to ride a bit, what's the right word to use? A bit freer and pushed a bit harder.
Less cautious, yes. Yeah.
Because they were like, all right, if it's going to rain, we need to...
The difference was the following. The difference was when Marc saw these drops, he said after the race, I said to myself, that's my race. Because he knew that the others would have a period of doubt, you know, to understand, what's going on? How is the grip of the track? So this is of a certain moment of
advantage,
like
an advantage
there's a moment,
for him.
So there's a moment of adjustment that riders would normally go through.
Confusion, adjustment. And Marc,
he just said, stuff it. I'm just going for it.
There he bet on it. So he took a lot of risk, you know, because he said, I have 3 laps to push.
Yep.
And if you go, that's what he exactly did. Then when the others awoke, he had already the gap that allowed him to win the race.
Yep.
That gap was, these 3 laps was the key.
So why does he love those mixed weather conditions? Because obviously it can jeopardize, you know, with the tires and the track.
Because
why does he like it?
He is probably more unconscious, you know, and he has more control of the bike. But basically, he is brave and controls the bike.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be fair enough. So the other question for me, though, Manuel, like we've just proven once again about how much of a freak this guy is, because he comes back after almost a year off. He has a few races to get himself back up to speed again, but now he's on the top step of the podium. The next Honda is 10th.
Yeah.
Like, have Honda just gone back to their old ways? Have they just gone, we're building a bike for Marc and everybody else can just put up with it?
Look, I don't know what I know. And the people or the person who has given me the information about what happened during this test is somebody inside that garage, of course. And probably now Honda is trying to, you know, they are putting these guys on the electric chair to know who is the deep throat.
He's talking. Yeah.
Well, this guy told me the following, because he was talking about Marquez group, you know, Marquez group find out. Marquez group is boosted. So it's like if they were isolated group.
Yep.
Isolated group.
Yeah.
But for me, it's difficult to get it because at the end, the data, everything is open. You know, everyone can see the data. But what is clear is that Marquez group works for them, for Marc.
Yep.
You know, they don't share. If they can, they would absolutely, close everything to everyone.
It's a team within the team.
Yes, and they don't care about the rest. It's like we.
Yep.
So I don't know if what they got, just they got it, which I doubt. And if not, what they got is not enough for the others still.
Clearly, yeah. Because, like I say, we had Pol intent on exactly the same machinery. And then we had Taka down in 13th. So
in saying that though, Stu, like you mentioned that with Honda, I noticed that with some of the others too, like Yamaha, for example, and Ducati a bit. They've got the front and then the end. They're not together like they've been sort of through the first part of the season. There's a big separation. So that can't be the bikes, right? That's the rider.
Yeah, the rider groups, the rider teams within the factory team. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we can analyze what's happening in Yamaha. That is clearly something similar, but taken to the extreme, right?
Yeah.
But before I want to underline that Pol Espargaró crashed 3 times in Sachsenring.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
3 times, twice on Friday. So, and once on Saturday. So at the end, I think he said, okay, enough for this weekend, right?
Yep. He did. He just put the pen away, put it back in his pocket, and went, I'll just go around and around slowly to make sure I don't crash again, and let's just go to Assen.
Look, we have, I think this has been the 8th race or the 7th, I don't remember.
7th or 8th round, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Pol Espargaró has already 12 crashes.
God.
Whoa.
So remember, what I wrote yesterday, remember, to make his dream come true, which was, I always dreamt with riding a Honda with the Repsol color.
Yep.
Has been, I think, not a very good decision, especially seeing the KTMs he left behind.
Exactly. Yeah. How would that make him feel?
By the way, where he was the top rider, the reference, like the favorite guy of the KTM. So he left all this behind to fulfill that dream that has turned into a nightmare, right?
Because I know there was talk about at the beginning how he was going to crash a lot while he learned the boundaries of the bike and got the hang of the bike, but I guess that's going a bit far now. Yeah. I don't know.
No, Andra, in fact, remember he was saying, no, I admit, I realized that I will have to crash at the beginning to understand the bike.
Yes.
Well, or
he doesn't get it yet.
His head is quite, how do you say?
Hard.
Hard, or the bike doesn't work because he's a harsh learner. Let's say it's a harsh learner.
Yeah, it's a hard lesson for him, that's for sure. Indeed. So yeah, let's definitely move on to Yamaha for sure. I mean, very much a story of similar to Honda, how they've got one rider who's performing and then the rest of the riders seem to be struggling.
Did Maverick finish the race?
Well, who knows? Yeah, he did. Dead last. He did finish the I had to check.
Whose fault was it this time?
Oh, it was probably some gypsy somewhere cursed him.
No, look, the problem I think that the one who made the difference, and not only in the result, but in how he approached the Grand Prix, was Quartararo. You know, the Yamaha really didn't work in Sachsenring. They had a problem. I don't know exactly which one, but they had a problem. It's clear. A problem that made them not be fast enough to qualify good on the grid.
Yep.
Right? So, because we saw on the grid, Maverick Viñales second last. We saw also around there Morbidelli. We saw Valentino Rossi. Yep. You know, it was like if you turn around that grid 3 years ago, it would be the front row.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I noted that with Q1 as well. You look at Q1, that session Q1, that was pretty much the top half of the grid 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, Mir was 15th.
Yes.
Brad Binder was alongside him. So it was like, what is happening? Well, the thing is that, Fabio showed in this race how mature and how strong he is.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was once again capable to, with a bike that didn't work, to put all, like he says, to put all his energy together and did one lap that saved his race. You know, because in Assen, starting from the two front first rows, is
qualifying.
like 80% of the race.
That's it.
So he almost did the pole again with a bike that didn't work. This is an incredible capacity Fabio has.
Yeah, indeed. And the rest of the guys, like you say, Andrew, so Viñales finished last. Morbidelli was just in front of him. So, and this is a guy that we were touting for big things even at the beginning of this year and all through last year. Absolutely incredible. They're the last two people on the grid. Is it just a case of this track, the Yamaha doesn't like it, Manuel, or are there deeper problems here?
Yeah, look, the problem is that in Sachsen it's very difficult to overtake. And if you have to overtake, you have to arrive at a certain breaking point so close that you can dip in.
Yeah.
You know, the problem, look, the problem of Morbidelli is very clear to explain. He crashed in Q1, I think.
Yep.
So he was crashing in Q1, he was back.
Down the back. Yep.
Then he has the slowest bike, the bike with less power of all the grid. So he there was no way for him to overtake nobody. So this is the explanation. In the case of Maverick, look, okay, the bike doesn't fit, let's say, the problem is that Fabio has drilled his brain. You know, and this, I spoke yesterday with somebody inside the team, and, you know, when he sees Quartararo doing well, he gets crazy. And then what is happening? Then he wants to change the whole bike. Then he blames the bike. The bike doesn't work. Change it. So they start to move it up, down.
Oh God! And he gets lost. He panics, and then he gets lost.
That's the word. He panics, but he panics looking at Quartararo. And I don't tell you what happens when he sees Morbidelli in front of him. Then the panic turns into, I don't know how to describe.
Rage.
It's all mental.
Yeah. Yep. So is that just to dig a bit deeper into Yamaha? There is that what happened with him and the crew chief over this last couple of weeks?
Yeah. Look, it's the same. Maverick when he got screwed. You say in English?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then
can be a good thing, can be a bad thing.
Then he doesn't think.
Right.
He just went again with this crew chief. When he saw, for example, Quartararo, then he said to his crew chief, no, let's change the bike. And the crew chief basically told him, Maverick, work on your riding. Let's work on the electronic. Because Quartararo, how it works, they have a base. They have a base setup.
Yep.
And from that point, they change very little things, and it's Quartararo who starts to adapt his riding, because probably we don't see it, we don't notice it from outside, but the people inside and the one who work with him, they explain me that he works a lot with riding position. If there is a certain turn that doesn't work, then he tries putting the weight different on the bike, you know, instead of messing around with the bike.
Yeah,
it's him to try to adapt to what he has, instead of trying that the beast, the machine, the complete vehicle adapts to him, which is much more complicated.
Yeah, exactly. We've spoken about it before, haven't we, Andrew? How we said the difference between bike racing and car racing is the rider is a large percentage of the equation and has to take responsibility for for being responsible for a lot of the performance. Yeah, sorry,
Maybe,
Andrew, I interrupted you.
No. I was just going to say maybe Maverick should change to cars. But it like to see like that maturity and at least attempting and try. Isn't that what they're meant to do? I suppose try this, try this. You can't just sit there and go tweak that. Like, he's
No, look, the thing, and exactly, look, if I were a doctor, I would say that Maverick, the amount of frustration he cannot handle it anymore. You know, he needs urgently a psychologist, but urgently. Urgently.
I'd say so.
Because now the story is, look at this. Now he says that the Yamaha is not the bike he likes. Then he says, remember about the grass of the neighbor that is always
green.
Then he says, if I had a Ducati or if I had a Suzuki, I would be much faster, because he says, look, and this you won't hear anywhere else. He's basically Maverick rides with the rear, okay, with the rear. So he doesn't use the front. He's a rear wheel rider.
He's a rear man.
With the rear. Andra, no jokes about. He's about the rear, please.
He's talking before.
So, and he says that for his riding style, Ducatis and Suzuki would be better. He left Suzuki. He refused to side with Ducati and went to Yamaha. So now, he's regretting about something he pushed apart. But this is all here, mental.
How long is his contract for?
Until the end of
Next
2022.
Year?
And he's got paid huge. I think he's the second best paid guy of the.
Well, he was like this amazing. I remember when we started, besides me thinking he was reading a book upside down, he was like the man. And I've not seen.
He was going to be the next world champion, especially when Marquez was out. He was going to be the next world champion. Yeah, sure.
And he has been for years, the biggest Marquez rival since they were kids. We have talked about that here.
Yep, that's right.
And what a shame, because he's obviously bloody talented, and every now and then when the planets align, like we've spoken about, he does it, but he just can't he can't step back from himself to. Well, it's a shame, because he could be
Andra, it's basically probably it's the same what happens with Masia in Acosta.
Yep.
Masia's brain has been sucked by Acosta completely.
Oh yeah, completely. Yeah, we'll definitely get back to that. I just want to pick up on a comment.
He's my favorite.
I know. I just want to pick up on a comment that Andrew made there before about going to car racing. Speaking of Yamaha riders going to car racing, are we hearing any more about Rossi maybe going to World Endurance Racing next year on four wheels?
Well, yes, I think an Italian newspaper published something like this, but this isn't the secret. Valentino has said this 100 times. He will whether go endurance racing. He was always also thinking about doing a fall season in Indy cars in the States.
Yes, yeah.
He's going to race. Valentino doesn't know another life like this. He's not starting to cook or to do breakfast or eggs at 8 o'clock in the morning. No, he won't do that.
Yeah, indeed. All right, cool. Let's have a talk about. I think a manufacturer that I think they had the best weekend out of all the manufacturers. KTM. I think they had an incredible weekend. I don't think they could have possibly imagined a weekend as good as they were going to have. I mean, it starts in MotoGP, obviously, but then in the other classes as well. They're just dominating.
I think we all are getting KTM more and more every week, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. We're getting KTM fever.
Yeah, because it's a brand that somehow it conquers you. It
does,
how they are, their spirit. You see that they are with the kids that start, they are in the top and fighting with the same fighting spirit, you know.
Mhm.
And in fact, you know, the lemma, the logo of the company is ready to race.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. They are born racers. They really genuinely are. We call them the underdog and the you know the little guy, but realistically, when you look at the size of the organization, especially with enduro and off-road racing,
Motocross, Paris
they are
Dakar.
huge. Yeah, exactly. They are a massive machine. And so a little bit like the Eye of Sauron in Lord of the Rings, it was going to be a dangerous thing if they put their focus on MotoGP for any amount of time. And here they are. They've been doing that, and now they're Miguel Oliveira, 3 podiums. He is doing an amazing job.
How long have they been in MotoGP?
Sorry?
How long have they been part of MotoGP?
10 years.
KTM.
Yeah.
I think. Look, it's easy because the bike is called RC16.
Oh, 16. There you go.
16 is the year where they started. So in 5 years, you know, 5 years with zero experience. When they arrived, I remember that all the other manufacturers somehow looked at them like, here they come, because they arrived with a tube chassis. With,
that's right. Yeah, the chrome moly tube
with
chassis.
their own suspensions.
Yeah.
With some, you know, like saying we do things our own way, and all the others said, another one who wants to invent the wheel.
Yeah, another suitor. Yeah.
But what happens? They are going. And like KTM said, in all the sports we went in, we finished winning.
Yeah. Yep, that's right.
You know,
and
yeah,
they will again. Like they will get a world championship very, very soon. That race on the weekend, for me, that was just the Marquez and Oliveira show. Those two guys, neither of them put a foot wrong for that entire. That was perfection. They were just trading fast lap times and just pushing each other and pushing. It was incredible, wasn't it?
What did Oliveira? Where did he start? Where did he qualify?
6th or 8th, I don't remember.
I think he was 6th. He was on the back of the second row, I think.
Oh, okay.
6th.
Yeah.
Imagine if he was up a bit, it would have been.
Yeah.
He's finished. He started 6th, and I think he lost 1 position, but then he had to catch up. He had he lost a lot of time,
and
he
had to get through Jack and
energy. He overtook Zarco, Aleix, Jack,
Fabio,
Quartararo, so a lot of riders. And then he finished 1.6 behind Marquez. So at a certain point he was 0.8. So the key was for him, the negative key was the start. And Marquez, he's so smart, because he said when it started to rain or to drop, he said, I realized Oliveira is in the back. It's my time to push. So he had everything under control. He knew that Oliveira was somewhere in the back.
Yep.
For me, that's, he has everything under control. I don't know how, but he has everything under control. And he went out to the race knowing that his only rival would be Oliveira.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, another 5 seconds back to Quartararo. So, yeah, clearly a 2-horse race.
Yeah, and KTM again. And Oliveira, I don't know if we have said it here, but for me, he's the new Dovizioso.
Yes, yeah, fair call. Yep.
Yeah, because look, he did very good in FP1. When you see Oliveira coming, it's not like the underdog that suddenly appears. No, Oliveira, you see, there he is. He did a very good FP1, so you knew that he would be there in the race. No surprises. And there is another thing, Miguel. You don't have to expect doing him in the race something that he has not done in the practice session. He performs exactly the same on Sunday.
Yep.
That he did on the practice session. Not less,
like a metronome.
But not less, but not more. There he is. So
it just keeps going.
Good. Yeah.
Exactly. The one thing that I really liked, and I think I mentioned this to you on the chat, Manuel, while we were talking on the weekend. So he was on the hard front medium rear pretty much all weekend. And as you say, just getting down to those high 20s, low 21s on the lap times. And then Sunday comes along and they said there may be some rain and it was a couple of degrees cooler. So they go out for the warm up and the temperature's lower. So what does he do? He goes, I'll go and try medium front, because if it's going to be cooler, then I may be okay with the medium front. So he went out during the warm up and he got similar times and then kept an eye on the temperature, and it got that little bit warmer again for the race. So he went, no, I'll go with the hard front. And he went back to what he was. But he wasn't scared to go and have a look. But differently to Viñales, as you say, Viñales just panics and changes everything. He just made one change and there was a reason for it. And then he went and had a look what the conditions were, and he made the assessment and then went back and he just became the metronome again. It was incredible.
Yeah, it's a matter of character, no?
Yes.
Also personal character, personality.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. And Binder as well. Oh my God. He started, where was he? The 15th, 16th or something?
16th, I think 16th.
Yeah, and as you say, it's a track. Oh yeah, can't overtake at the Saxon Ring. It's too tight, and oh no, yeah. Hang on, Brad Binder, hold my beer. Fourth, what a result! I mean, look, I'm a Jack Miller fan, so I wasn't happy seeing him go past Jack Miller for the World Championship points, but still, that was an incredible thing. Brad Binder, what a ride!
Yeah, typical Brad performance. You know, the problem of Brad until now, that he's a little bit roller coaster, right?
Yes, yeah.
Someday he's up there, then he disappears.
Yep.
And then he's up there and disappears.
Yeah.
But he has the talent, because in the couple, Oliveira and Binder, he's the talented one. He's the one who has a world championship. He's the one who won the first race for KTM in MotoGP, remember, in Brno, in the Czech Republic. So I think KTM has a perfect couple, you know, perfect couple.
I think so. I think so too. And yeah, it wasn't a good week, obviously, for Danilo Petrucci. Unfortunately, he got taken out by Alex Marquez, I think, didn't he? I didn't see the replay of it, but I just saw the KTM mounting the LCR Honda. I thought, oh yeah, I can see what's happening there.
And the best thing for Alex Marquez, is that the Danilo just went away.
Yes.
Because if not, he could have taken off his head from like this, you know.
Exactly. Oh my God, yeah, it was good. And obviously poor Iker. I think Iker's just struggling in general. Maybe he's not ready to come up to MotoGP. Do you think? I don't think we'll see him here next year.
No, I don't think either. But you know, the story with Iker, they made an experiment. You know how they made him go to KTM? It was an interesting story, because it was after Jan Zarco left KTM, remember?
Yep.
Was he the one we spoke about where they purely went by data?
Yes, exactly. Yep. Yes.
That's right. Yep. I remembered something.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, it wasn't that he was stand out. It was that his data was...
Yeah, exactly. KTM people looked at the data of different riders to check which on the data suited more to the riding the KTM needed. Yeah. And it looks like it didn't work.
Data, so it would have been his data from the lower grade, so it wasn't really accurate for MotoGP.
Moto2. The way how the data means the way how he opens the gas. You know, if it's smooth, if it's aggressive, the transition between braking and accelerating. So all this you can see how the rider rides, and then knowing your bike, you know, if you need a rider who is smooth, or if your engine doesn't allow an aggressive rider, and this is how they approach that.
Riddle me this though, aren't the bikes quite different? Moto2, the bikes are quite different though, aren't they? From Moto, you would ride them differently.
The thing I can tell you is that a Moto2 bike may have 140 horsepower. And the MotoGP has 280.
Yeah, double that. Yeah,
there's a little bit different.
There is, yeah, it's very different. I suppose there's a set of key technical characteristics that they're looking for in a MotoGP rider, though, as Manuel says. They want someone who opens the throttle in a certain way, or transitions between throttle and brake in a certain way. And so it's just those key tiny little snippets of data that they're looking at in their Moto2 riders, I suppose.
Did you hear the conversation between Oliveira, and I think it was Quartararo, talking about Raúl Fernandez.
Oh, no.
No. Tell us.
Because when they were behind the podium to get on the podium, they were watching the race.
Right.
And they started to have a conversation. Who was it? It was, yes, it was Fabio and Quartararo.
Yep.
And they
Miguel?
said,
Miguel, yeah.
yeah,
Miguel and
also,
Fabio, yeah.
sorry.
Right, you're just building the anticipation.
Yep.
They said, like, yes, I like how he writes like, who did they say? Like Viñales.
Ooh.
They said,
right.
yeah, he doesn't get done. And they said, look, yes, he said, one of them said, I think he writes like Viñales. And the other said, yes, the same way.
Right.
With
on the
corner
rear.
speed,
Corner speed,
speed and so on. So it's interesting because the riders, they read something that we just look at it and don't see anything.
Wow. Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Poor Raul.
Oh, yeah. I know. Hey, don't go poor
No,
Raul. He had a bloody good weekend.
No, he fell off.
I know, but it was a bloody good weekend up till then.
Again, that the mother in me that Manuel keeps telling me to shove deep down inside and not bring out when we talk about this, but my ovaries explode every time I see Raul and Adrian Fernandez, and they both fell off yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. They both
look. I'm sending Andrea. I'm sending you a photo through WhatsApp that explains very easy why Raul crashed. Okay. And he knows, although he said after the race, like most of the riders say, I don't know what happened. I did the same that the lap before.
He knew what happened.
He knows he messed up. He knows that he messed up though, right? Like it was a stupid.
Oh, completely. Yeah. Remy got to him. I mean, we
look,
we're gonna have to share this now with everyone.
Yeah, look at this picture. What do you see? Raul is very much more inside the line, right?
Yep, he is. He's given himself no room to cut into the apex.
Yes, look, he doesn't push the body outside the bike. So what does this means? That his lean angle has to be more.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, to get the same corner speed, he's going to have to get more lean angle. And
here,
he's just look, run out of bench grip.
Here in this photo, he's already more leaned over. The angle he's deeper than the other one. So it's pure mathematics. So he crashed. Why? Because he approached that turn and he wanted to keep Remy's speed, which physically was not possible with the position he was on the bike.
Yeah, that's right. So Remy went fishing. He put a hook out and he caught himself a Raul. That's what he did.
Yeah. And maybe we should call Raul and explain him what he did wrong. Because
I reckon
because he seems not to realize, you know.
Well, apparently, yeah. He doesn't know what happened.
He looked like there was a few tears. I reckon he knows he messed up there.
But this is so clear what happened there. So absolutely no doubt.
Yeah,
still sad. Still hurt my little mum heart.
I know. It
yeah. You approach this too soft. You approach it too soft.
I do, but again, it does highlight that he is new and he's a rookie and he's learning. And even though he's been bloody incredible, he's
Yeah. Did you see the plate Remy Gardner signed after the race?
Yes.
It said 200 Grand Prix.
200 race. Yeah.
In Moto2. 2.
Yep.
Raul Fernandez, this was his 8th race in Moto2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So he's allowed to do some mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. We'll give him that one. We will indeed. Yeah. Before we go any deeper into Moto2, I just want to talk about Ducati in MotoGP. Good weekend or bad weekend for Ducati, considering it was a Saxon ring? I don't think they've really ever gone very well there, have they? It's too tight and twisty for them, and doesn't have long enough straights for them. Do you think they'd be happy with 5th and 6th?
Not if they were angry at Jack for coming 2nd or 3rd. It was the other week.
I'm getting that.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know, the luck was that Marquez made first, who is not in the championship.
Yeah.
The luck is that Oliveira made second, who is not in the championship. You know, the problem is that Quartararo finished in front of them and increased his advantage in the championship.
Yeah, that's right. I can see he's what's that? He's 22 points in the lead now from Zarco, and 31 points ahead of Jack. So that's
but 22. Stu and Andra 22 is nothing, because if Quartararo has a problem, a DNF, the advantage is gone.
Yeah.
And in this point, Ducati is lucky because they have 3 guys immediately behind Quartararo. You know, they are just waiting the mistake to happen.
Cue the Jaws music.
I'm sitting here trying to Google the starting grid and I can't find it. Didn't Pecco start back a fair way as well?
Very bad. Pecco started, I think, 10th.
Yeah.
10th.
Okay.
Pecco has the problem. He has the Mir problem, not that big as Mir. I mean, qualifying is his big
weakness.
Weakness, exactly. That's the word.
Because
in the race.
Sorry, I was just going to say, he didn't seem himself when they were showing him sitting on the grid ready to go. He's usually so, and the commentators even made mention of it. He seemed a bit more like just not zen and focused.
Yeah, no, but he knew that he had a difficult task in front of him, you know, but he made it. If you go through the lap chart, you see once again his progression. And then, you know, the good thing of we have said this is before, he seems to be quite mature in racing because he doesn't hurry up. He takes things step by step. But and he got there. But to fight for the win, he has to start more
clearly
further
higher.
Up.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, not a good weekend for Ducati, but not a complete loss, as you say, Manuel. They're still within striking distance in the World Championship. I know I've seen Jack on the social media saying that, hey, it was okay, still a good haul of points, not too bad. I think it's going to be a little bit different for them in Assen, though, isn't it?
Yes, Assen should be a good track. I don't know for Ducati, but for Yamaha for sure. Look, if Yamaha doesn't win in Assen or doesn't put at least 2 of their bike on the podium, then we can say, Iwata, we have a problem.
Are we putting money on that this week?
Ooh. Oh, do you reckon Viñales will come good this week? Do you reckon you'll see Viñales and Quartararo on the podium at Assen?
Well, with Viñales, you never know. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't bet 1 dime on Viñales. Never, ever.
There's as much chance of Rossi getting on there. Who knows?
Quartararo will do very well.
Yep,
for me, he's a real challenger for the win. In Assen.
Yeah, I think so. And Suzuki. What's going on at Suzuki? Oh my God. Have they got their front squat device sorted out yet? Like, when are they going to get it? No, but look, I think that in Sachsenring they couldn't use that because the first corner was so close from the start, you know, and the device to lower the bike when they accelerate was no meaning because basically there is no straight there, you know. Yeah, exactly.
They were only, when should they put out the device to lower the bike? There were no space. The problem of Suzuki for me, it's like the same way last year they were like, wow, full of energy, you know. Remember last year Suzuki? Wow, an energy team, everything works perfect. Now it's like they are like, they have lost the pressure in the system. Yep,
they've been deflated.
Exactly. It's like the airbag after 10 seconds. That's very good example.
That's it. Yes, indeed. So what do they do? Where do they go from here? Like, how do they fix things?
yesterday I wrote that the train of the championship is getting out of the station, and they aren't on the train yet.
Yep.
So Suzuki's engineers have no holidays after Assen. They have July to work on it and to give them the riders a chance to be competitive. But Stu, the same way, because Mir may complain about the bike, but Mir has to do something to qualify better.
Yes. Yeah.
The bike, Alex Rins shows every race that it can happen much better than Mir does.
Yeah.
So, okay, you don't have, because Mir yesterday complained about, you could see perfectly when after the first turn, there is a steep up in Sachsenring, very steep. You don't see it very well on the TV, but it's very steep where the power makes the difference. So Mir said, look, getting out of that turn, you could see clearly that we had no power. So when we arrived at the braking in turn one, we were too far to try anything. Okay, he's right. But Macho, you have to qualify better.
Exactly. And as you've mentioned before, Manuel, like Mir and Rins can complain about the bike, and then we can talk about why it's not qualifying well. But you look at those two riders' history in other classes and on other bikes, they've never qualified well.
No, Mir has in all his career 2 poles.
Yeah.
And he's world champion.
That's crazy.
With only those poles. Regarding Rins, he is in the average of the category. He's not a good qualifier like Quartararo or like Jorge Martin, but he's in the average. So if Mir were in this package, he would have much more chances to do good races. But the championship is like, flying away.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, they're almost 50 points down already. It's they need crashes.
Reaction. They need to react immediately.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do. Okay. Anything else particularly before I move on to Moto2 and Moto3? Anything else that caught your attention for MotoGP over the weekend?
Well, it's not. It involves a MotoGP team, but it's not only MotoGP. And I talk about the Petronas team.
Ah, yes, of course. Yep.
Look, the Petronas team is it's something similar that with Suzuki. Suzuki last year was wow. Everyone looked at Suzuki. I remember Maverick Viñales saying, we have to be like Suzuki. This Maverick Viñales. Once again, the grass of the
is
neighbor.
greener.
Maverick, that would be Maverick favorite sentence. This time it happened in Petronas as well. The arrival, it is happening what they expected. The arrival of Valentino has completely, how do you say, unbalanced, something that was really like everything was, for example, look, what has happened in Petronas. Thursday, in BT Sports interview with John McPhee, the super educated John, it's the most educated, quiet guy of the Moto3. He said, well, when they asked him, how are you? He said, well, I'm not doing well. Why? Because my crew chief has been taken away from me and sent into the Jake Dixon garage.
So that was a Petronas team decision?
Yes, but the key of all this, and I wrote a long story, is the power of the pay-per-view TV.
Yeah.
All this movement and all decision is down to the desire of BT Sport. After the retirement of Cal Crutchlow, BT Sport needs Brit in MotoGP.
Yep.
And they have decided, or they had, I don't know if I use had or had, because now it's in the air. But they decided, let's say they decided that this guy was Jake Dixon.
Yep.
Why? Because, as we know, Jake's profile is funny. He's an open guy. He speaks well. He makes people laugh. So he has a personality, right? So BT Sport decided we want Jake Dixon in MotoGP. And Dorna has to fulfill their desires, because it's one of the 3 big pay-per-view broadcasts that are in the championship. One is BT Sport, the other one is DAZN, and the other one is Sky in Italy, right? Okay. So some weeks ago, or maybe even weeks ago, somebody explained me that inside the Petronas team, they were already organizing Jake's teams for MotoGP.
Wow.
You know, they were planning, right, like you do in a proper company, you know, programming the future. And this was something that was being done. Now, a little brackets, obviously this meant that Valentino would not be there.
Clearly, that's right.
Okay. The problem is that Jake's results have been very bad. Disappointing, much under what the expectations. So it was very difficult to justify Jake's jump into the MotoGP. So somebody got, what is happening? We have to solve this. Jake accused his team, his crew chief, of this for these bad results.
Right.
And the crew chief, what happened with the crew chief? He accused Jake Dixon.
Of course.
For the poor performance, of course. Result, the crew chief was fired after Barcelona. Because Jake is important and the crew chief not.
So, that's right. You can always find another crew chief.
Exactly. And VT Sport cannot find another Jake Dixon.
Exactly,
So what happened? They fired the crew chief and they looked around and took John McPhee crew chief and put it alongside Jake Dixon. And this is the story.
Wow. Okay.
So you can see that John was super upset, because now comes the second part of the story. Already last year, John McPhee failed to go to Moto2 like he was promised.
Right, he was promised. Oh, this is the second thing for him.
Because BT Sport preferred Jake Dixon in that team. That John McPhee, who is the TV profile of John McPhee is more boring, let's say, less interesting. So this is the politics and the background.
Wow, and that's, as you say, that is an issue across all 3 categories as well. Like with the Petronas team being in all 3, that's going to have ramifications all the way up to MotoGP, as you say. Rossi, Dixon, McPhee. That's going to be keeping Razlan Razlie awake at night.
And I tell you more. Look how it works, Andra. They prepare. Look, if you just watch and you don't know the inside, you just eat this, because suddenly during the weekend appeared interview of Razlan Razali, the team owner, an interview in a Malaysian newspaper, where he said, well, we will start to work again with young riders. This is our mission here, to grow up with young riders. So they were introducing, starting to manipulate your mind.
Reframe the entire situation. That's what he's looking at doing, clearly. Indeed.
But going back, like you're talking about McPhee, and I have to mention Darren Binder, because I think he's made a couple of mistakes, but I feel like he's copping a bit of a shit end of the stick at the moment. He's riding so maturely, and I don't know how he's keeping his shit together, all the penalties he's been copping. But he, to me, would be a clear one to move up to Moto2 before McPhee. So McPhee's kind of probably screwed either way. But can we quickly talk about Darren? Because I feel like, he deserves a bit of...
I think that Darren, because of many reasons, One is because his size. You know, he's sitting on that bike like I don't know. Second,
like Stew on a pony.
Yes.
Oh, thanks, but yes.
Oh, you're pretty small though.
It's a tiny pony.
And then because he has been already many years in Moto3, and he has to give a try, you know.
Yeah.
The problem is that he will, if he does, he will not be world champion. So his fee is not the one, you know, he won't get probably a good team. But John, for example, I think, you know, I don't know how it works, but I think there is a maximum age to race in Moto3.
Of course.
And that age, I'm sure that is running out for John.
I think so. Yeah, isn't it like 28 or 25 or something?
Yeah, something like this.
20,
you know,
20 something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 26, but I'm not sure.
Something like that. Yeah. And yeah, you look at John McPhee, he looks about 42. So
hey, he's had a hard year. He's had a bloody hard year.
He's 17.
He needs some oil of Elan.
It's a shame, poor John, because you know he's such a nice guy.
Yeah. All right.
As well as Darren, you know, but Darren is like he's getting the sticks of everything he has done in the past. He's paying the bill now.
Yeah. It's all coming back to him, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed. But while we're on Moto3, Pedro Acosta. Wow. Again. Incredible. As we said at the beginning, during the opening, Manuel, that Moto3 race was civilized. It was quite grown up. There was not too much dirty stuff. There was a little bit of niggle in there, just how we like it. And we still didn't know on the last or the penultimate lap who was going to win that race. But again, the cream rises to the top. Pedro Acosta, what a ride, eh?
I had my 68-year-old mum last night because it was my last night with my family. And this, again, I was blaming you guys for this. My last night with my mum and sister and her newborn baby. And I'm like, look, I'm just going to put the race on. If you get too bored, just tell me and I'll turn it off. And I'm explaining to my mum, and she's standing in front of the TV for the last 2 laps, like going for Pedro Acosta. She's like screaming out and yelling. And it was bloody beautiful.
Brilliant. Good to see.
I have sent you a photo.
Yep.
On WhatsApp. Do you see
there he is
photo?
at the beginning, out front.
Look, here.
Oh, yep.
On that photo, what do you see? Look the position of Pedro Acosta doing kind of yes, it's at 1, 2, 3. He's getting out of turn 3, up the hill, doing turn 4. Look his body position on the bike.
Yep.
He's exiting right-hander, and his position already is ready to turn into the left-hander. And look the others, how the others are on the bike.
Yep.
So look, this is technique. This is riding technique, you know? And this you see when you go through the race again and start to look at the details.
Yeah.
And these are the details that when people, wow, what does he do different? Obviously, you don't see it when it is happening at the moment so very quick. But when you go down and stop and have a look, here is so clear. He's riding different than the others.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
Different. Thinking a bit faster and a little bit ahead.
And
he's
this
on
is
a different level.
Pure riding technique. Pure riding technique.
Yep. And this is why he'll move
magic
so quick
in
up the classes. No,
Claro.
exactly. Yep. That's right.
That Moto3 finish was freaking hilarious. Bloody
Jeremy Alcoba.
Jeremy
what drugs
Alcoba's a
Seriously.
Oh, Jeremy Alcoba should have been banned for 7 races, you know?
Yeah, I think that sounds like a face palm of the week to me, Stu.
I think you might be right there. I'm not going to do it. It's
you
too
have to
obvious.
How can you not do it?
Because I'm wearing my glasses.
Take your glasses off. Don't let the listeners and the watchers.
All right.
Come on.
So, all right. So
have you got a headache? I forgot you've got a bit of a headache.
I've got a bloody stinking headache. So for what he did on the weekend, Jeremy Alcoba gets my face palm of the week. Oh my God, I'm covered in stuff.
I'm sorry. I hope you don't get a worse headache now.
Oh yeah, too bad. I
would have taken one for you. I would have done it.
It's worth it.
What he got told to drop back, didn't, overtook someone else.
Yep.
And then I swear Foggia went out of track limits. I saw it on the last lap and I went, Mum, see that? He's gone out of track limits. He's going to lose a spot. But then they showed the footage, but no one ever mentioned it.
Yeah, I thought they were all going to cop penalties.
And then I was like, what, does the fifth person end up third? Like, it was just like...
Yeah, but I think that to penalize Alcoba with just one position, was it? Or
yeah, one position.
That was too soft, because this move was like suddenly a bullet appeared in the middle of the group, and he messed up with everything.
Yes, yeah, that there is a classic example of when a 3-second penalty is appropriate, because in that crowd, a 3-second penalty would have put him down to 9th or 10th. That's more like it.
And then you've got Jake, who did what he did, and he's now got a long lap in the next race that's going to screw him over. And I think what Jeremy Alcoba did was way worse.
Yes, exactly. And it's just, as we were saying last week, race direction. Okay, so give them props for yes, they're trying to take control of things, but is race direction run by clowns? They clearly just don't have a clue.
So put that on the show notes. I'll put that on the show notes.
Do it. Who is it? Freddie Spencer's up there or something?
There are 3 of them, but I when you see what's happening, I would like to know who is the one who decided for Jake and who is the one who decided for Jeremy. And what I laughed, because I didn't like to get upset, is in the Parc Fermé, this Jeremy Alcoba complaining about the penalty. Like, he complained. I said, I can't believe this. This guy is complaining.
Yeah. Like, really, mate? Go back and watch the video.
It's all right. He got He got photos and everything first before he.
Yeah, he was having all that done. Quick, delete those. That'll be race direction. I'll be going, delete those photos. Oh my god. But yeah. So Pedro Acosta obviously increases his lead at the top there. He's got. I think they call it a massive bloody lead. In Moto3 at the moment. So good on him. And again, another example of the incredible weekend that KTM are having. Like, good on them. Well done.
And Kaiser came second. I was very happy.
October. That was brilliant. That was so good to see. That was really good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And I am so curious, guys, to see where Alcoba is going to finish. Because now, all the brands are thinking about him, and basically Honda, who normally buys the riders on a check, I can't imagine that they have not bought him yet.
Exactly.
I can't imagine that. It's like Raul Fernandez in Moto2.
Yep.
Now they are saying that Yamaha is interested in him and this and that. KTM knows that they have 2 jewels in these 2 guys.
Yes. Yeah.
Will they let them go? Will they match the offers that they will get from others? So these 2 guys are in this moment really interesting to follow.
Yeah, definitely. These are the guys that whenever I see a news article about them, that's the one I want to look at for sure.
Yes, I got the phone call the other day from Motorcycle News from the UK. And they want me to do a big, huge story about Acosta.
Nice.
They will run it, I think, in 2 or 3 weeks' time, because Acosta is the big sensation of the championship.
Exactly. Yeah. So before we wrap up, let's just finish talking about Moto2. We've had a chat about MotoGP. We've gone through the Moto3, Moto2. A race for the purists. Realistically, it wasn't that, like close bike to bike, elbow banging, all that sort of stuff. It was just Remy Gardner taking control and just banging in lap times that nobody else could match, and Raul Fernandez couldn't handle the heat. What a ride! What a ride from Remy.
Yes, for him the championship should end in Assen, because he has already shown that he's the best.
Yeah.
What for race another 8 races? He should. He's so much in a different level than the others.
And what a difference 1 year makes. Like, just, we've spoken to him a few times now. The maturity and it's just clicked.
Yeah, it's the team. Look, the other day Oliveira explained very well, because Oliveira was in that team in Moto2 for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, that team is he said, Aki Ajo, who is the owner, he said, he's a kind of special, and then he said, it's the perfect team if the rider is ready to work.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. Okay.
Because Aki pushes, he pushes the rider to the limit and makes him work and makes him train. So it's the place to be. And with Remy, it has worked great. He
Clearly
probably has shown him to focus. He has showed him to work professionally. So the big step has been incredible.
Yeah. And I see that Aki just signed on with KTM for another 5 years as well.
Claro, they have like an academy with him, you know?
Yep. So it's absolutely incredible. My only concern at Moto2 at the moment, I think, is a comment that you probably mentioned before on here, Manuel, is when Remy and Raul go, who's going to step up? I don't see anybody else that's riding at that same standard. We were talking about Sam Lowe's last year and earlier in the year, but he's just really fallen off the pace. Like he worked his way back to 5th this week, but he crashed nowhere.
Again. He crashed again in Sachsenring. So I don't know if he got hurt, or because mentally Sam is strong. He has been the top crasher in the championship for years.
Yep.
In all categories he has been. So I don't think it has somehow
doesn't rattle him. Yeah, it doesn't rattle him.
No, it's not. So I only can imagine that there has been some physical stuff that we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But, Stu, regarding who are going to take if Acosta arrives in Moto2, amigo.
Of course, yes. Yeah, there we go.
There are some who are stepping up. Then maybe Darring is arriving. So there are young kids arriving. Moto3, there are a lot of crazy guys.
So Manuel, because this is my first summer break, because last year was a whole different season. Are we going to see many changes popping, or the outcomes for changes happening next year? Are they going to start popping up now?
Popping up means?
Are some of the changes for 2022 going to start being talked about through this break?
Yeah, sure. Look, in my opinion, the most important thing, and I was some months completely opposite thinking, is that Valentino will announce his retirement after the summer. This I am pretty sure.
Yep.
And then the pop-ups will be more in the lower classes, because in MotoGP, apart from the Tech Trois team, which Remy already will be there will be another that probably could be Raul. I don't know. Well,
there's still some extra seats popping up in MotoGP though, isn't there? That is going to mix it up.
No one knows if Petrucci's going to be staying or not. And I suppose that's one of the big ones.
I don't think so. So basically there will be one seat in KTM Tech Trois that could be Raul. Then there will be one seat in Aprilia.
Yep.
Yep.
Dovi,
Petronas.
Dovi will test. Today is the 23rd?
21st.
The 23rd, Dovi is going to test in Misano with the Aprilia.
Oh, nice.
Look, to end, because this is getting too long. There has been an announcement in Germany. Gresini team is switching to Ducati.
Yes, correct. Okay?
With 2 riders, Di Gianantonio and Enea Bastianini.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. That's going to be a good team.
The move, that Bastianini had a contract with Ducati, and there was a clause that Ducati could renew automatically his contract. Bastianini was speaking with Aprilia. Aprilia had a big interest in Bastianini.
Yep.
And what did Ducati do? They activated the clause.
Oh. Bastards.
How do you in Spain, there is a paper we used when we were writing with ink.
Yeah.
Like you put
the blotting paper.
Yes.
Blotting paper.
blotting.
Yes. Yeah. 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 I used to use it at school when you write with the ink and then you put the paper over the top to dry it. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jesus,
So
are you
this
that
is
old,
basically
Oh.
that is basically what Ducati has done with Aprilia. They have
Dry the ink. You can't change that now. Go away. Oh,
so,
no.
and another move, because we all expected that Gresini would be the satellite team of Aprilia.
Yes.
But Ducati has sucked Gresini to them. So Aprilia is again with just 2 bikes.
Yeah.
One rider.
It becomes even more important that the second rider that they have on board is a good rider who can gather lots of data for them, doesn't it?
Yes, I spoke with Rimola, the super chief of Aprilia, and explained me, we want Dovizioso, whatever role he wants to play. If he wants to be the test rider, would be fine. If he wants to be full Grand Prix rider, it's fine for us. You know,
Nice.
I don't see Dovi doing a full season. I don't see him. So they have to hire a young rider instead.
Yep.
But again, the move of Ducati has been, really, it's like civil war between Ducati and Aprilia with.
Oh, yeah.
There will be 8 Ducatis on the grid next season.
That's
How are they
insane?
How are they going to manufacture all those parts?
There will be 5. There will be 5 2022 bikes.
Right.
And 3 2021 bikes.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
4 bikes, 4 factory bikes will be for Pramac and the Ducati team, and the other one will be for Luca Marini with the Saudi money.
The Aramco VR46 team. Of course.
They arrived to Gigi and said, how much costs a full factory bike? Bang! Here the money.
Wow. More than you can afford. Want to bet?
And I tell you more. Look, I tell you more. Ducati will have 5 young Italian riders. So they have left Aprilia with no option. So there will be Bagnaia, Bastianini, Di Gianantonio, Marini, and Bezzecchi.
Bezzecchi, yeah, exactly. Wow, I'm just looking through Moto2 to see who's left. So you're going to have someone like Nicolo Bulliger, Celestino Vietti, Tony Arbolino, a lot bam boom. We can go and get him out of Moto2. Or Stefano Manzi.
But these are all no. And the top will arrive from Moto3. I'm looking forward to see Pedro Acosta on a Moto2.
Exactly.
Pedro is wow. We want to see him as quick as possible.
Yep, indeed. Okay, so look, before we wrap up, Assen this weekend. So we've had one amazing weekend of racing. We've got another one coming up. What are your tips for Assen? You reckon Yamaha is going to go well?
Very interesting. No, Assen is a big question mark. Why? Because the track is the asphalt is completely new.
It's been resurfaced. Of course.
Completely
and it always rains.
New.
It always rains in Assen.
So completely new. Therefore, the tire manufacturer is allowed to take 4 different back tires.
Right.
Because they haven't how do you say
they haven't rubbed it in, they haven't tested it, they don't know what the wear is going to be like,
and they don't know the setup of the bike. So it will be a difficult situation because they will have to work a lot of setup, and the bikes won't be ideal for the race.
Ooh, interesting.
So who does that lean towards when you think about the riders for a rider racing on that kind of track? Who do you reckon?
The talented one? No, the talented one.
This guy,
Brad Binder, Jack.
Yep.
You know, the guys who immediately you will see it in FP1 who are the talented one in FP1 because they arrive and bang, bang, bang.
And if it's going to rain, rain, Fabio's going to shit his pants.
Yeah.
Yes. And Viñales will stay in the boxes. I think he won't leave the box. But you will see that in FP1, the top will be the talented one. Then the others will start to work, you know, like the Oliveiras and this, ping, 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 and we'll get it. Obviously, Quartararo makes part of the talented group, obviously. Viñales will do very well. Viñales then the problem is that the others will come and he will start to change the bike. He will do
He'll
very
panic.
well in FP1. And then
they'll catch him and they'll get better than him. So you think we'll see Viñales do well on FP1, FP2, and then FP3, he won't make that much of an improvement, and then he'll shit himself in qualifying.
Look, let's do a list. Brad Binder is a talented one.
Yep.
Viñales.
Yep.
Mr. Burger King, Saxon King, or
Mr. Burger King.
Quartararo, Binder, Jack, obviously, Jack.
Yep.
Zarco is also talented guy.
Yep.
You know, Pecco probably not.
Mir?
Well, I think Mir, yes, this is part of the good stuff. Yeah. We will see. I'm curious to see if I am right or not.
So you reckon the ones that will struggle are people like Paul, Elish, you reckon who else? Miguel might make his way up, but he won't be up there straight away.
Because their potential is on working on the bike.
Nice.
You know, the one, for example, Alex Marquez is a guy who needs to come, you know. That's the difference. I think Pecco will be like this. Another talented guy, super explosive guy we have seen is Jorge Martin.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's an atomic bomb. Didn't he?
He's an atomic bomb.
Yeah, yep. Until he does explode and falls off the bike. Exactly.
Yes,
indeed.
Because atomic bomb explodes.
Yes, yeah, that's right. That's what they do. All right, what an amazing conversation once again, Manuel. Thank you so much for your time, mate. Thanks for getting out of bed for us. We really appreciate
finally,
it.
Maybe I can have breakfast. My olive oil. Bread and tomato.
We add them all the time now. It's like, can you get some sourdough and get some tomatoes? We need to have the Spanish. Yeah, I love it. Now that you had to educate me on how to, once I got over the fact that you have to
grate a little bit of pecorino over the top.
The grating the tomato thing is still, I'm curious, people in the world who grates their tomatoes, because I've never done that before in my life.
Now you know. Oh my God. All right, Andrew, before we go, have you got some messages for the viewers and listeners out there?
Just shout outs today to Hilly, Rodrigo and Edwin. They're a couple of our regular YouTuber commenters, so keep them coming. We love hearing from you. Let us know what you like, what you don't like.
No, especially what you don't like, so we can learn and improve.
And I've stopped drinking for the person that commented about me keeping my mouth shut or stopping drinking. No, that was ages ago. I'm over it. I promise.
I'll never stop drinking. Indeed. So thank you so much, everybody. Please get on the socials. Let all your friends know about us. Get on to YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. There's probably a graphic on the screen about now. And we shall see you after this weekend's racing in Assen. The most important thing is to get out and watch the racing, whether it's at home or with your mates. Get and watch that race at Assen. It's going to be a good one. It's the last one for I think we've got a 2-week break after that. So and we'll have
Stu, I need your help. I don't know where I have to fly to, because in the past I normally went to Holland. Yes. But now it seems that it's not Holland anymore. Now it's Netherlands.
It's Netherlands.
You don't. Yeah, you know that, because now they don't want the country be called Holland anymore.
I know you're not allowed to. It's not politically correct.
So I don't know where to fly to.
I just want to go to the flat place with all of the clogs. Just let me go there.
That's brilliant.
You can go there. You can smoke the broccoli.
A cafe in the cafes there, no?
Exactly. Are you going to this race? You are, aren't you?
Yeah. I have my plane ready. You know, let me tell you an anecdote. Once in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
I was driving, and there the people are more or less like you in Australia. If there is 90 per hour, it's 90 per hour. So only you and the people from Holland follow that.
Yes.
Okay. So then I was driving, obviously, at 120, 130. And suddenly a Porsche, convertible Porsche, arrived behind me. And I said, okay, this guy is going fast. So I just pulled to the right, and then he passed me and stayed in front. And then a light came out from the Porsche. Police.
No.
A convertible Porsche.
Convertible Porsche. That's it. My next job is going to be with the Dutch police force.
Wow.
So, and look at this. He stopped me, and obviously there he came. Papa, the ticket. I said, sorry, I have no money. And then he asked me, do you have a Visa card? Yes. Okay. Follow me to the next bank.
Oh my God, really? Let's go to the ATM.
So I said, no, sorry, I have the money here.
Oh my God. Is that dodgy then? Because you're giving them cash?
Or
is it legit?
Yeah, you can pay cash or not, because if you don't pay, they know that you are going to escape from the country without paying.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the Porsche, I said, it was a white Porsche. I said, wow, incredible.
Crazy. Awesome.
Only you and the Dutch. Only you and the Dutch follow the rules.
Yes, yeah, we have to here in Australia. For all those non-Australians
Can't afford the
over
fines.
here, we can't afford the fines.
One day I was driving to Phillip Island at night.
Yep.
130, 140, and suddenly a car come in the front, the lights, and then I see through the mirror.
Big U-turn.
And then all the lights on.
Yep. And you're like, what? What did I do? Did I kill someone?
So he stopped me before arriving in Phillip Island. There comes the guy, big guy.
Did he say, "G'day, mate? Have you got your license?"
No. And then he heard my perfect English.
Yep.
And he forgave me. He said,
"Oh, nice.
Yes, and let me go." I said, "No, this is not Australian. This must be an alien coming from a planet."
Australians are good blokes.
Country coppers are all right. If there's any Aussie country coppers out there listening to this,
thanks for letting us off for speeding.
Yeah. Thanks for letting Manuel off. Indeed.
Okay.
All right, guys, it's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Have an awesome time in Assen, Manuel. As we said, make sure you take photos, get them to Andrew, get them up on the socials, and we'll talk to you guys next week after we've seen probably another Quartararo win, but maybe this guy getting up there as well. So have an incredible weekend, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.
Adios.